Hey, true believers, England Teen here with the Extreme Movie Show. And here with me, of course, is my friend Rob.
Good evening.
And, of course, Dalton.
Hello, all.
And, man, this is Rob's topic right here. You came up with this. We were going to do it last week. This required homework. Because you didn't say coolest movie death. You said we should talk about the most satisfying. So it's not like, oh wow, that death with Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea where he gets chomped by the shark and it's me. Oh my God, that was so cool. No, we had to find the ones where that was a slimy motherfucker and we just want him to die. That kind of thing. So it was really.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to see
was
the
really
motherfucker get it twisted in the back and turned and then ripped open. Well, I think too that one of the things we talked about was with Dalton also is that it's sometimes hard in picking because you could say like the whole group of teenagers from slasher movie X and you'd be like, yeah, those fuckers got it was creative, but if they just weren't reprehensibly evil that really touched you emotionally, it's like, yeah, it might have been a creative death, but that's different to me than the satisfying death, which to me is that whole revenge factor. So it'll be interesting to see what guesses we came up here tonight.
It's a little bit of a vindictive catharsis where you're sitting there thinking, fuck this guy and everything he stands for, and I'm happy he's dead.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Senior Dead guy already brought one up. He's starting it off. He's not like, oh, let's have the small talk until we get up to 20 or something like that. He's like, no. He comes right out and he says Captain Rhodes from Day of the Dead. And is that the guy who gets his legs ripped off where he's like, choke on it?
Choke on it. It's exactly what it is at the end. Remember the choke on it. And he's getting his guts like ripped out from him and they're eating it right there in front of him. And the one zombie has the gun who almost was kind of learning what was going on. So he never left the bunker, even though he's really stupid. He could have probably barricaded himself out and all that. It was satisfying, but he didn't piss me off. So I didn't put him down, but very good one.
Yeah, that's a good pull.
I think that for this, the general theme for me was not necessarily creativity or artistry. It was generally revenge, because I was thinking, why is it that sometimes when somebody dies, you're like, yeah, that was really fucking good? Because a lot of times when people die, you don't care, and it should mean something, right? I mean, somebody kills 30, 40 people, you're like, yeah, whatever. But just, it made me think of just man versus man. And for me, the first entry that I had that really kind of shaped my whole outlook on this type of topic is the original Death Wish with Charles Bronson. He's basically a bedwetting liberal back in the early 70s. I think he's an architect. He was a medic and he was an objector in the Korean War. So, all the modern markings of, somebody who just would cry, if somebody came at him in a fist fight. And Bronson, we all think of as a tough guy. He was somebody I loved watching in films. He's very masculine. He's very manly. And after his wife and daughter get raped and this and that, he, freaks out. He finds a safe space in Arizona and his buddy hooks him up with a gun. Then he just kind of finds himself in a situation where he starts using it and he just goes after the people, and it's exploitation, but you know what, it fucking works. Great film, loved it. It was very adult like to me.
Jeff Goldblum, you deserve to suck the pipe.
With adult, when you see Buckaroo Banzai as one of the rapists, you're like, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, when you can go back and you look at those smaller movies with the person who's about to be famous.
Yeah, you're like, actually, another fucker was in here.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum was in that, and
somebody else, but I can't think of who. And you're like,
he did another character. He did another character that I thought was slimy, and I really enjoyed seeing get it. Was in a Western called Silverado. I think his character was named Slick or something like that, and he was slimy. Always treated Danny Glover's sister as a whore, and he ends up getting stabbed in the end by her or something like that. That was a really good one too. Yeah. Denzel Washington as well. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I guess mine. Geez, I've got a whole list here. I'm going to bring this one up. At first it didn't make my top 3, but we talked about it beforehand. And I am going to put Count Rugen. Count Rugen is from the movie The Princess Bride, the Six-Fingered Man. And the reason why I find this very satisfying, I mean, all throughout the movie, we hear Inigo Montoya tell the story about the Six-Fingered Man and how he killed his father. And he's even gives his thing, and I'm going to say hello, you kill my father. And so he meets up with Count Rugen, and Count Rugen just kicks his ass until it's like he just kind of rallies himself. And when he says, tell me you give me anything I want, and he says, I want my father back, you son of a bitch, and he runs him through. I like that. It was, and I think what really sold it was just Mandy Patinkin's performance and just selling his backstory, selling the line, hello, my name's Inigo Montoya, you kill my father, prepare to die. And so by the time that he is run through, it's like, yes, Christopher Guest deserves to die, that Spinal Tap motherfucker. Yes. So yeah, I really dig that scene. All right, what's your second one, Rob?
I was trying to think of a more recent movie that made me go, this guy is a real fucking creep, and I'm glad he died. And that was Mr. Phoenix in Gladiator. He was just a creepy bastard all the way around when you think of all the stuff. And I think sometimes that gets lost on everything because everyone wants to just mark out over, uber machismo that was in the film. But
isn't
it's
he
very
Commodious or something like that? What is it? I think that's a history of the world. Isn't it Commodus or Commodious? I think that was History of the World, but it's something like that. Yeah.
Gladiator, to me, I look at it as a bit of a revenge film and everything going up for it. And it was, like I said, it was satisfying at the end for him to be back there with his family and the afterworld and all that too. So, but just, yeah, Phoenix, I was just like, I thought 9mm was actually a fantastic film, but he was real hot with that and with this movie at the time, and his performance delivered. Gladiator, definitely a great film.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, and he really did act the hell out of it, and I absolutely agree because by the end you just want that fucker to die. That is a good pull.
And it's such a hard thing because someone could just be one-dimensional, and you could be like, yeah, he deserved to die, he's the bad guy. But like we've said before, a movie's only as good as its bad guy, and bad guy to me is not what a lot of bad guys are these days. Where you can understand both sides and you can be sympathetic. No, this person needs to be lacking something, and in addition to that, he needs to be able to make you react emotionally to it. Otherwise, they're not doing their job. So it's kind of like it's harder, I think, to be a bad guy sometimes in some of these movies, and it really is a testament to the people that play him. And Phoenix is just, like I say, he's just a creepy, disgusting bastard that the more you think about what he's doing, you're like, you fucker, you need to get it. The payoff. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why it was hard for me to pick something that wasn't necessarily human.
Matt Damon is Colin Sullivan from the movie The Departed. Was a slimy bastard, and Matt Damon plays the shit out of it. It's probably my favorite Matt Damon role outside the Bournes, but it is just one of those things where you see him go through everything, and he's just. It's hard to explain without spoiler alert, spoiling everything except for the fact that he dies at the end. But yeah, the fact that he's being brought in, I'm going to spoil the fuck out of this. He's being brought in by
sensitive.
Yeah,
I'm not being sensitive for them because there might be that one person that didn't see The Departed. But yeah, all throughout, he's trying to find out what's going on, who the rat is. Of course, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. All the while, he's a rat himself for the mob, and the fact that he's when he's being brought in by Leonardo DiCaprio, Leo's taken out, and it looks like Matt Damon's character is going to get away with it, which I kind of like when the villains get away with it. Like I'm very happy to hear that Billy Zane survived the Titanic. I thought it was pretty shitty that they did at the end. Oh, and he jumped off a building. It's like because I love the fact he was like, I'm her father. I love it when a villain does what it takes to survive. But then he just walks into his apartment, and there's Marky Mark. And he just kind of goes, huh, like he knows. It's like, huh, because he walks right onto plastic also. So it's like, blam. And it was just, yes, sir. That's the way to end the movie. So, yeah, I thought that was a really good one. So there you go, gang. That is our little talk about a few of our favorite, most well-deserved and satisfying deaths in movies. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you like the video, make sure you're clicking on any of the ones that are popping up around you here. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, going over to Ko-Fi or to Patreon. The link's in the description below. And I've got a store there. If you want to buy something, you get something, we get something, and the world is a happy place. Like, thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers out there, thank you very, very much for watching, and stay extreme.